Okay, hola amigos. Um, Here I'm going to talk about using comparisons when we're talking about things that are the same. So, in other videos or other lessons you've had before, you may have heard there's a lot of emphasis on when things are, you know, more than something else. You know, someone is taller than this person, someone is smarter than this person, someone is more intelligent, we might say. We learned those patterns before. This is when they are the same. So we are going to make these comparisons. We're going to use a little bit different language. Before we were using, you may have remember we used más and que or más and de or menos. In this case, we're using tan and como. That's the group of words that we need to use when we're talking about the same quality or um, the same descriptions. That's the quality, or the same frequency, or the same amount, quantity. Um, if we have, again, something that is the same. So as you see, here's more or less our formula: tan plus our adjective or our adverb, and then como. And this is basically the tan here is the as, and then our description, and then como. So if I said someone's taller than someone, if I were to say they're as tall as someone, in that case, I would use, bueno, esta persona es tan, and then alta, and the alto is going to agree with whatever the subject was. I said esta persona, so um, persona is feminine, so I use alta. But if I'm just talking about maybe Ronaldo, masculine noun, Ronaldo es tan alto como, and then whom we're comparing him to. If you know this this girl is as tall as that boy, esta chica es tan alta como ese chico. So we had alta there because of chica. And it works the same way with an adverb. We use tan, and then our adverb, it's not going to agree with anything, just going to have the adverb and then como. So if we did something as easily as, we did this activity as easily as the other. Bueno, hicimos esta actividad tan fácilmente como la otra. Just plug that adverb in there, but tan and como will always stay the same when we're talking adjectives or adverbs. Now, go over here to nouns. Whenever we are comparing the quantity of something, we use the word tanto. And now tanto is going to agree, and it's going to have 4 different forms. And you can probably guess what those will be: tanto, tanta, tantos, and tantas, depending on what it is that we're comparing. So if a country has as many people as another country, we would say, that, whatever country we're talking about, tiene tanta gente, and I use tanta because gente is feminine. So tiene tanta gente como el otro país. So it has as many people as the other country. But tanta gente como. Now, if we're saying that I have as many books as you, tengo tantos, because I'm going to say libros here, masculine plural, so I use the masculine plural form of tanto. Tengo tantos libros como tú. And whenever we finish with a person we're comparing to, it will be yo or tú or él, ella, usted. So it's going to be the actual subject pronouns will fall in line, will be the same words we use here. It's a little bit different. You maybe have been thinking me or ti, or me or te. Nope, it's yo or tú. Como yo, como tú, como él. If she has as many magazines as I do, as I have, as me, ella tiene tantas revistas como yo. Okay, so that's when we're comparing the quantity, how many things. Tanto will agree with whatever the noun is, not the person that has it. So it doesn't matter who has it. If she has as many magazines, it's going to be tantas because of revistas, not because of ella, because that didn't agree anyway. So the noun, the tanto agrees with the noun that we're describing, not the person or whatever it may be that has it. So when we talk about the quantity, tanto will agree with what it is that what item it is that we're comparing. And now verbs can also be the same. We can say someone does something as much as someone else. So we just conjugate our verb and then we add tanto como. And this one's pretty easy, really. You just put those two words together at the end of the verb, and that's as much as. So if this person, they swim, this person swims as much as another person. Let's go with Ricardo nada tanto como su amigo. So he swims as much, or as often, as much as his friend. You just put the verb, we conjugate the verb according to the subject, like we normally would. If I study as much as my sister, yo estudio. Estudio is my verb. I conjugated it in the yo form to agree with yo. So estudio tanto como mi hermana. Pretty simple. So again, these are comparing like, things that are the same, equal comparisons. So we have as many things as someone else. We do something as often as someone else. Here's the having as many things, doing things as often right here, and being the quality, being the same as, as tall as. Or we could have our verb here, as easily as. Our adverb. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. And then you can see some of these examples where you actually have each of these. Here's an adjective. So if the adjective, that means we're using tan and como. Let's see how we have it. El debate de anoche fue tan aburrido como el de la semana pasada. Here we've got tan and como with the adjective in between. And we used aburrido, the masculine singular form, because el debate is masculine and singular. Let's go to the adverb one right below it. Nosotros discutimos tan intensamente como los candidatos. So we argued as intensely. Notice tan and como, again, tan and como, that's what we're going to use when we have an adverb. And then we just put the adverb in between. The adverb is just going to be the adverb. There's no form of it. We just have the adverb. So there's not a masculine or feminine form, just the adverb. Okay. And now nouns. So here we have la señora Pacheco habló con tanta convicción como el señor Quesada. So we are comparing how much conviction someone has, or spoke with. And it's as much conviction as the other person, but tanta convicción. And now it's tanta, not because of la señora, even though it seems like that might make sense. It's tanta because of convicción. All right, and then if we had, another noun here, and we were going to compare, and we would always agree the tanto, tanta, tantos, tantas, whatever the noun is, it agrees that goes right here is how we formed that. And then last, our verb, if we are comparing how often something is done, or as the frequency, how much something is done, is it the same? Ambos candidatos son insoportables. Ella miente tanto como él. So she lies as much as he lies. Comparing here, all we do here is we just have miente, and this is conjugated according to ella. So whatever your subject is, you just conjugate your verb like you normally would expect to, and then add tanto como, and there you go. And then you've got that all set.